Now on a special edition of KGW News, chaos erupts outside of a Portland gas station after police exchange gunfire with a suspect.
He wouldn't get out, and then when he did open the door, he had a gun in his hand, and then shot him.
Plus, a federal lawmaker is calling attention to a Portland family detained by ICE after a mother is separated from her children.
Absolutely absurd that we are detaining a woman who wants to go back to her country.
And another lawmaker calling out federal budget cuts by the Trump administration, as well as threats to deploy the military.
Portland is not what the president says it is.
And we first bring you breaking news out of New Hampshire. Police say multiple people are hurt following a shooting at a country club in Nashua. Police do say there is a person in custody they believe to be the shooter. It happened earlier today at Sky Meadow Country Club. Police said the scene is still an active investigation, but there is no further danger to the public. Information on the conditions of the victims was not immediately available. Now to our top story here locally. A suspect is in the hospital after police shot him outside of a Southeast Portland gas station this morning. Investigators say the man also fired at police. Catherine Cook walks us through what happened.
It was pretty crazy, you know.
Saturday morning, police shut down Southeast 122nd and Division after a shooting at this gas station involving a suspect and officers.
I heard like a lot of gunshots and like people screaming.
Around 9:15, police say officers surrounded this Nissan and challenged the man inside.
He was a white man with tattoos.
He wouldn't get out, and then when he did open the door, he had a gun in his hand.
During that stop, there was an exchange of gunfire.
Sergeant Kevin Allen says no officers were hurt, but the suspect was hit. Police began first aid before paramedics arrived and took him to the hospital.
At this point, the injuries to the suspect appear to be non-life-threatening.
Police recovered this gun from the suspect's car, and they found bullet holes in a patrol car and a private vehicle. They also interviewed a woman they say was in the suspect's car at the time, describing her as a witness.
Police tell us this whole thing started here at a different gas station on Southeast 84th and Foster. An attendant told officers the suspect threatened them with a gun before taking off.
I believe this was outstanding police work, and we had officers that were looking all around the precinct and their patrol areas for the suspect vehicle, and it really paid off.
For people who live and work in the neighborhood, it's still frustrating.
It's sad that this is happening. Very sad. We've got to do something soon.
It's very unfortunate whenever you have gunfire in our city streets, and it's something that we take seriously, and we really want to make sure the public knows that we go above and beyond to make sure these are investigated fully.
And as the red tape flutters, so do emotions.
There were a lot of people around when this happened.
But on this day, no one else was hit.
Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in.
In Southeast Portland,
Yeah.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Well, turning now to weather, we were treated to an absolutely beautiful final Saturday of summer with blue skies all afternoon and temperatures in the low 80s for much of us here in the metro area. But things could look a whole lot different by Sunday morning. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is here to let us know when we might see some rain. Joe?
Hey, let's just say tomorrow's going to be kind of a good day to maybe cook up a little stew, get the crock pot going, because we're going to be looking at some heavy showers by the time Sunday morning rolls around. Like you said, it's the last day of summer. Fall officially kicks off on Monday morning. So we'll be looking at those showers, heavy at times. Basically, right around 4 o'clock in the morning is when those showers will start to arrive. Heaviest will be about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then poof, they're gone by 10:30, 11 o'clock or so. So looking into the afternoon, sunny and cool. And as we look into the first full week of fall, starting on Monday, we are going to be looking at some pleasant conditions, but we're already starting to see some clouds increase as this cold front starts to move on shore. So here's a look at what you're going to be running into. Like I said, between 2 and 4 in the morning, those showers will really pick up along the Oregon coast, yellows and oranges. So you can kind of tell just how wet this front is going to be for the first part of the day. And then by 10 o'clock in the morning, it starts to move over the Cascades, and then it will be mainly dry by the early part of the afternoon. Daytime highs were in the low 80s. Well, tomorrow we're going to be looking at daytime highs about 10 degrees cooler from what we saw earlier this afternoon. We'll talk more about your detailed forecast and what you can expect to see for the first part of fall coming up.
All right, Joe, thank you. Portland police continue to investigate a shooting in the Montevilla neighborhood. We've learned 2 people were hurt, though both are expected to survive. Now, this all happened around 8 o'clock last night near Southeast 82nd and Harrison. A witness told us he heard dozens of gunshots and says this happened during a vigil for a person who was killed on Thursday in that exact same location.
And very loud, and it was rapid fire, one a second. And then I heard women screaming, and then another round of bullets, and then police and fire showed up.
So far, there's no word on any suspects or arrests. New tonight, Washington State Police are investigating after a police chase ends with a suspect getting hit and killed by a car. It started just after midnight when Kelso police saw a car driving erratically and swerving into oncoming traffic. The driver, 27-year-old William Netz from Missouri, refused to pull over, eventually getting on I-5 North where he got into a crash with a semi. He left his car and was hit while trying to cross southbound I-5 on foot. Netz was pronounced dead on scene. And in Oregon, state police are investigating a crash involving a wrong-way driver that left one person dead. It happened around 3:50 this morning near I-84 near Corbett. When Corbett Fire arrived, they found one car fully engulfed in flames. First responders pulled the driver out of that car and took them to the hospital with serious injuries. The driver of the second car was pronounced dead on scene. In an update tonight, we're learning more about a Portland mother and grandmother arrested at the Canadian border and who've been sitting in ICE detention for months. Now, this began at the end of June when the Merlos family went to the Peace Arch Park on the Canadian border. The mom, Jackie, originally from Honduras, and her 4 young American-born children were then detained for weeks before lawmakers and lawyers stepped in. Alma McCarty looks into the attention their case is getting at the national level.
My name is Mimi Letnich. I'm an entrepreneur, a wife, and a mother of 2 sons. Today I'm here to talk about another mother, my dear friend Jackie.
For the past 2 months, Mimi Letnich has been the caregiver of Jackie Merlo's 4 children.
9-year-old triplets, Carlos, David, and Abby, and their 7-year-old little brother, Jeffrey.
They came to stay with her in her Portland home following a trip up to Peace Arch Park to picnic with family earlier this summer. A trip that would end in detention for Merlos, her husband, and her mother, visiting from Honduras.
As they said goodbye, agents moved in and arrested them.
Customs and Border Protection claimed Merlos had been attempting to, quote, smuggle illegal aliens into the U.S. and said initially the children remained with the mother at her request in Border Patrol custody. 2 weeks after their disappearance, Letnich, with the assistance of Congresswoman Maxine Dexter, located Merlos and her U.S.-born children. Dexter walked into the CBP facility, she said, to see them praying.
I cannot describe what that impression left on me. These 4 small children in probably a 10 by 10 windowed cell, soundproof glass, gray cement bench that they were kneeling on with thin mats on the floor and a toilet in the corner. It is absolutely insane that this is what we have done to this family.
Letnich, able to retrieve the children mid-July, shared with lawmakers some of what they told her.
Agents interrogated the children without Jackie. They were asked, where did they live? Did they have any money? Did they have relatives? Did they have a father? Shortly thereafter, ICE took their dad. The children believe that was their fault.
She says in the car back to Portland, the kids gave her a coloring book with a message from her friend.
Jackie had written me a note in the inside cover. Mimi, thank you for everything. Hopefully this will be over soon. I will miss my babies. Please take care of them. This is so hard.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Congresswoman Susan Bonamici, who represents Oregon's 1st District, stopped by the Portland State University Farmers Market today. She spoke to vendors about the importance of fresh fruits and vegetables being available, specifically how SNAP and the Double Up food bucks help families afford it. Her visit was also in response to the Trump administration's Big Beautiful Bill passed in July. SNAP will see cuts of more than $500 million over the next 2 years. They're cuts Bonamici says Portland families heavily rely on.
I call it the big ugly bill because I don't see much beautiful about it, because as costs go up, people need to be able to access the healthy food. So it's about public health, it's about supporting our farmers, and it's about, in the United States of America, no one should be hungry.
Bonamici also responded to President Trump's most recent public comments about Portland, in which he apparently renewed his promise to send National Guard troops to the Rose City.
Of course, we have challenges like any urban area does, and we're working with our state and local officials and community groups, and look at this thriving community right here. This is far from a hellhole.
At this point, it's unclear if the president intends to follow through. New tonight, a weekend of celebrations continued today for a couple of local theaters. Moreland Theater and Cinema 21 are both celebrating their 100th anniversary. Through Sunday, Moreland Theater is hosting a series of free movie screenings and discounted concessions, but the celebration is also part fundraiser. Their main goal is to restore the theater's iconic marquee so it can shine bright once again.
I am a huge evangelist for the importance of movie theaters. They have persisted for a long time, and they are one of our few, accessible third spaces that we have left. And I truly believe that the best way to see a movie is on the big screen.
The Laurelhurst celebrated its 100th anniversary last year, and the Hollywood Theater will reach that milestone next year.
The dust has settled inside Autzen Stadium following the 129th edition of the Civil War rivalry game between the Oregon State Beavers and the 6th-ranked Oregon Ducks. What went right, what went wrong, and what's next? We've got highlights and reaction coming up in sports.
Also coming up on this special edition of KGW News, TikTok apparently reaches a deal between the Trump administration and China. What that means for the platform. Plus, a start to what may become a new local tradition, why Eastern Oregon growers showed off their bounty in downtown Portland. Take a look at your headlines. A 64-year-old man has been arrested after bullets struck the lobby window at an ABC-affiliated station in Sacramento on Friday. No one was injured in the shooting at the ABC 10 building, and investigators have not determined if the gunfire was connected to protests that took place there the day before, which were related to ABC's suspension of the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Last year, in an undercover FBI operation, agents recorded that Tom Homan accepted $50,000 in cash from the agents after saying he could award them government contracts if Trump won a second term. That's according to internal documents reviewed by MSNBC. FBI Director Kash Patel said the investigation was closed because they found no credible evidence of any criminal wrongdoing. The White House press secretary says the Trump administration and China have reached a deal on TikTok to keep the popular social media platform turned on in the U.S. Carolyn Levitt says the new agreement will allow the U.S. to control TikTok's algorithm and data. She says 6 Americans will sit on the 7-seat board, meaning TikTok will be majority owned by Americans in the U.S.
Straight from Umatilla County, so thank you.
Well, you've heard of farm to table, but today it was farm to square in downtown Portland. Growers and ranchers from eastern Oregon showed off the bounty of Umatilla County. Growers handed out free potatoes, onions, and watermelons. People also checked out the tribe's medicinal medicine, Umatilla County wine, and Pendleton beef.
You would be very hard-pressed to go to any restaurant in Portland today that doesn't have something on their menu from Umatilla County.
We have some medicinal plants, some basketry, some sweetgrass. These are different types of needles and stuff from tree materials.
Well, the city hopes this will be a new tradition with chefs featuring curated dishes created from Umatilla County agricultural products. And check this out, proof you can have a concert just about anywhere, and that includes a tunnel. Local groups, including Friends of Rocky Butte, the Rocky Butte Preservation Society, and Madison South Neighborhood Association, partnered to hold this unique show. They closed off the southern section of the tunnel for musicians, fans, and to allow for a little car-free walk to the top of the butte, which is an extinct volcano.
I think we gotta do more of this, honestly. Like, this is really cool. Like, you get to learn about new history, places that you didn't know about before, and also, like, get to find cool public spaces to, like, just explore and hang out in and see what's up, see what's around, because not enough people know about the history of everywhere.
The event was held in part so the organizers can bring attention to the area so it gets the care they say it deserves. Definitely a unique event, something you don't see every day, and a beautiful day for it.
Gorgeous day. We topped out in the low 80s last Saturday of summer. I'm bummed about it, you know. But you know, the first full week of fall, I'll show you in a second, is looking almost picture perfect with the mostly sunny skies and very pleasant conditions. That won't be the case for the last day of summer tomorrow. Downtown Portland right now, 71 degrees. We're starting to see some clouds increase, and you definitely will notice the rain showers into the early morning hours. So here's a look at the day planner for your Sunday. Rain showers right out of the day throughout the morning hours. Rain showers in the late morning. I'd say between noon and 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, that's when we'll start to see some drier conditions, but I'm expecting to see daytime highs topping out right around the low 70s. Upper 60s to about 72 degrees is kind of that window. So here's this upper level low with that cold front moving through from the Gulf of Alaska. That's going to bring in some changes, and some models are kind of go on the high end in terms of how much rain we could see. I expect to see anywhere from 1/4 to maybe 1/2 of an inch of rain. One model is showing closer to 0.6 of an inch of rain. Regardless, it's going to be a wet end to the weekend, at least throughout the morning hours. Overnight, heavy downpours at times. Again, starting off cool and rainy tomorrow morning, but the first week of fall is going to be sunny and pleasant once we get through tomorrow morning. Like I said at the top of the show, once this front moves through, it's going to be quick because by late morning, early part of the afternoon, we're pretty much done with the heavy amount of rain. But by 2 o'clock, still picking up some spotty showers, and those showers will carry over onto the east side of the state. But by the time they reach parts of Bend and Redmond, you're not going to be seeing much in terms of measurable amount of rain. So the window for when the rain will start to arrive is basically dry between now and midnight, but right around 4 a.m. PDX, the metro area, you'll be seeing some heavy downpours, and those showers will carry over into the later part of the morning. But again, by 4 or 5 o'clock, we're looking at a lot of sunshine. Here's a live shot from our Vancouver camera from the Springs at the waterfront there. A beautiful night, clear skies in southwest Washington with temperatures in the low 70s. So rain chances basically are going to be popping up tomorrow morning, and then we'll gradually see those showers taper off by the afternoon, and that is the only wet day I have in the extended forecast. I'll show you that in a couple minutes. But temperature-wise right now, up and down the I-5 corridor, right around the mid to the upper 60s, although the northern part of the valley is closer to the low 70s. After seeing daytime highs above average for this time of year, low 80s, 82 over in Vancouver, and over in the Dalles, you saw temperatures close to 90 degrees earlier this afternoon. So the next 5 days looks pretty nice. Tomorrow will be cool and wet, gradually warming up, but Tuesday and Wednesday we'll have that east wind pickup. So we'll be seeing some temperatures right around the low to mid 80s for 2 days of the work week. So tomorrow we'll be looking at some kind of a wet start, but by the afternoon we're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine, and the autumnal equinox, let's just call it the fall equinox, it's easier to roll off the tongue, starts on Monday morning. So summer solstice, longest day of the year, shortest night. Spring and fall equinox, equal day and night. Again, autumn begins on Monday at 11:19. As we look at the 7-day forecast, morning showers tomorrow, drier by the later part of the afternoon. Monday, morning fog with temperatures in the mid to the upper 70s, and by Tuesday and Wednesday, yeah, John, we're seeing temperatures in the low to mid 80s, still feeling like summer, and then gradually cooling off. So my favorite time of the year is this, right around late September and the mid-October. You still get some wet days, but you still get some very pleasant days, as you can see on that 7-day forecast.
7-day looks beautiful. Starting to see some leaves change out there.
That's one of my favorite parts of the year, too.
It's on the way. All right, thank you. Well, get ready to say Prost, because just in time for fall, Oktoberfest has returned to Oaks Park. You'll find Bavarian treats and plenty of beer, along with family-friendly activities like live music and dancing. The festival runs through Sunday. Admission comes with your gate ticket. Well, it's a local rivalry between two teams heading in completely different directions. It's the Ducks versus the Beavers at Autzen Stadium, and Orlando Sanchez was there.
Hello everyone, it was rivalry day in Eugene, Oregon. Huge favorites in the ball game. Orlando Sanchez spent the day at Autzen Stadium today. He has all the action.
It's a rivalry dating back to the late 1800s. Two teams located about an hour away from each other. But in 2025, they couldn't be further apart. No longer in the same conference, no longer playing this game as the regular season finale. The Oregon State Beavers battling to rebuild in search of their first win of the season, while the 6th-ranked Oregon Ducks hunting for that first national championship. A sunny Saturday in September set the scene in Eugene. More than 58,000 inside Autzen Stadium for the 129th Civil War. between the Oregon State Beavers and the 6th-ranked Oregon Ducks, rocking those shoe duck uniforms. Opening drive, it's a double dose of Moore. Dante Moore to DeCorian Moore. 22-yard connection. 7-0, less than 3 minutes into the game. But the Beavs battle back. Malik Murphy finds a wide-open Taz Reddix. Down at the 1, and Anthony Hankerson catches out. Just like that, it's tied at 7. Upset alert, second quarter, Moore locked in. Finds Kenyon Sadiq for 6, capping off a 12-play, 92-yard drive. Moore tossed a career-high 4 TDs. Oregon reels off 34 unanswered points, nearly 600 yards of offense, while shutting down OSU, holding the Beavers to just 147 yards. The Ducks move to 4-0, taking the last 3 in a row against their in-state rivals. Slow start, but a dominant finish in a 41-7 victory.
Fans and, our teammates and everybody just feel the energy and the juice we're playing, flying around the football field with. And, it was a great performance, but I feel like overall there's a lot of things we have to clean up.
There's going to be some highs and lows. There's going to be some ups and downs. It started off a little bit slower today, but it finished the way it's supposed to. But ultimately, you might not get those layups or those freebies, later on in the season. So you got to start fast.
This was a special one. Leading up to the game, it was ultimate preparation, and then, I was definitely on one today, if you ask any of my teammates. And obviously, I played hard, and it was a good team win.
At this point, the Ducks and Beavers aren't scheduled to face each other in 2026, marking the first time since World War II they haven't played in a season. But both sides are working to restore the rivalry in 2027 and beyond. Up next for the Beavers, they'll host Houston Friday night, while the Oregon Ducks travel to Penn State on Saturday. Head coach Dan Lanning saying, "We've already flipped the switch to Penn State." Reporting from Autzen Stadium in Eugene, Orlando Sanchez, KGW Sports.
All right, that's not the only football of the day. The Apple Cup going on today in Pullman, Washington State, and Washington in a wild one. The Cougars, they tried to keep it close, but Washington really just had way too much. Pick 6 put them up by double digits in the fourth quarter, and then Washington added a whole lot more scoring. They win it 59-24, the final score.
Well, it depends on what fan of what team you are, but I kind of like to see those rivalry games a little closer.
Absolutely.
They meant something a couple years ago,
They did, and it is nice to see them if they're close and if there's some drama in there. I like them towards the end of the season as well.
For sure, absolutely. Playing your rival at the end.
Yes.
Well, looking ahead to fall, nice.
Don't push it ahead too quick.
Oh, yeah,
we still got one more day, my man,
Yeah.
and that's tomorrow. It will feel like fall though, so let's just start it right now. Just start ordering those pumpkin spice lattes as everybody likes to. But yeah, tomorrow, John, we're gonna be seeing some heavy downpours, up to a quarter, maybe 1/2 of an inch of rain by the end of the day. Most of the rain stops by, I'd say, noon at the latest. A few spotty showers keep popping up throughout the early part of the afternoon. For the most part, we're looking at drier conditions tomorrow afternoon with highs in the low 70s. We'll be back here at 11.